Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiffany Dyer, and this evening I will be speaking about termination. This topic can sometimes be kind of awkward for certain people, like once you're in the field and you are talking with your client and you're with them for such a long period of time. What are like usually the cues to know, like, okay, I think it's time, like, for us to like end our sessions indefinitely, recently, not too long ago, I actually had like a conversation with my supervisor about what are like the clues into knowing the termination of a client. And I feel like this is something important that everybody should know because we can have our clients forever, but eventually, just like butterflies, they have to go off and fly by themselves. So certain things that you could like look for into like clues into like termination of a client, it would be like the lack of communication. How frequently are you and your client communicating? Are they ghosting you now at a certain period of time? Like I had that before in my last in during like the summer sessions. I had a client that was like, losing interest in a certain way and they was like starting to ghost. Um, are there any like unrealistic expectations, like are there certain things that like the client is demanding that is not like within like a reasonable thing to do, like um payment issues. This has came up too before, in terms of like when they're charging like their insurance, or like say they switch their insurance, um and there's like something being like you can't charge them, basically you're not being paid for like your services. Negative feedback from your client, like if they're saying that they're unhappy constantly with you, if they're critical of your work, things like that. um I will also say like preparing for like the conversation, when dealing with like your clients and you feel like it's time for them to go, you should like think before you speak. Choose like the right settings and like practice what you're gonna say before you actually go ahead and say it. Because there are times that, I don't know about you guys, but I have recently been going through like TikTok and watching therapy talk, if that makes sense. And I have seen different people speaking about like, clients speaking about themselves being terminated, and like, the therapist deciding that they want like to pursue their modeling career, for example. I have seen a recent video about that. So I feel like knowing what to say to your client in the professional sense and in a graceful manner is like the main important thing, because they came to us for help, So we still have to be empathetic when we are still moving forward and watching them leave and grow, you know. Um, and like just having that direct conversation with them, offering them assistance if this is like a client that you may have to like pass to like, or like how you could say like referral to like another facility or whatever the case is, be able to like conversate that in the right way or in the right manner. um and also expecting to be prepared for like your clients being upset with you when it's like that time, because there may be times when they are emotional because they have been with us for like a long period of time. And not gonna lie, because we have like at least like 2 months left into school, we have to like mentally prepare ourselves as we are talking to our clients. I know I do have like a consistent client that I have been seeing now throughout the summer. So having preparing my mindset to speak to her, it has been such an interesting thing to like think about for like the longest period of time. But we all have to do it eventually, so yeah. I will also say too, like empowering your clients still, and telling them like the good things that they have done throughout therapy and the goals that they was able to accomplish. putting that back into them to just remind them that, yo, like, you did an amazing job. But yeah, that is my little conversation and piece on termination, and terminating a client. Thank you.